You are watching high school basketball on Cape Atlantic Live, presented by Ulmer's Appliance Service. We like to
Six students of St. Augustine. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and please remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Kniff alongside the coach Joe Kessler here at Millville High School for the Cape Atlantic League semifinals. And we are here for a doubleheader. It'll be first game is between Holy Spirit and St. Augustine Prep. For the Spartans, they are the number 10 seed. They're 17-8. And their starters in the backcourt, Mason Forte and Nick Rogers. Jordan Gonzalez, a junior, plays the swing position. The forwards are Makai Campbell and Sean Gormley. They are both sophomores. Holy Spirit wearing the white uniforms with gold numbers with blue trim, and they are coached by Kyle Dine. And Holy Spirit, the Cinderella of this tournament as a 10 seed, as they upset number 7 Lower Cape May as well as a monster upset over number 2 Middle Township on a 35-foot three-pointer by Nikki Rogers at the buzzer. St. Augustine Prep also riding a nice ride through this tournament so far. They are the 6th seed. They are 14-12 overall, certainly playing their best basketball of the season as we get toward late February here. And their starters, Rory Friel, Mide Oki Byron, Kyle Helfenstein. They'll play the forward positions. Friel and Oki Byron are seniors, Helfenstein a junior, Luke Moransky, a freshman, and Jacob Plen, another freshman, will play in the backcourt. St. Augustine wearing the blue home uniforms, white numbers trimmed with gray, and of course they are coached by Paul Rodeo, the all-time wins leader among South Jersey boys basketball coaches. The officials for the game are Myron Hendrick in the center, Ed Gorski to the left, and Bill Kalbaum to your right. And Joe, thanks for joining us, but a nice buzz in the gym tonight for this Cape Atlantic League semifinal, the first of 2 between the Prep and Holy Spirit. We have Wildwood Catholic against Atlantic City later.
It is. First of all, Brian, thank you very much for having me down here. It's the first time I've done something like this, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Looking forward to 2 really good games tonight.
Yeah, we're pleased to have you here, and it'll be great to have your insight on these 2 basketball games. And a little bit about each team. Holy Spirit, Jordan Gonzalez is their leading scorer at about 15 a game. Mackay Campbell averages 10. Spirit is, neither of these teams is really a monster three-point shooting team. Spirit averages 5 threes a game. St. Augustine averages 4. Rory Friel is one of the best players in the Cape Atlantic League. He is averaging just a tick under 19 points per game. And then they got a lot of guys in that 6 to 8 point range. Mide Oki Byron at 8.5. Luke Moransky at 7.5. Kyle Helfenstein at a little over 7. And Jaleo Wakefield, who comes off the bench, also can be an offensive spark as well. Holy Spirit in white will go from left to right across your screen. And we are happy to be here at Millville High School for these semifinals. The winners will play Saturday at 2 p.m. at Egg Harbor Township High School, and we'll have coverage of that as well here on Cape Atlantic Live.
Here we go.
Oki Byron against Campbell. Myron Hendrick has the basketball, and we are underway, and the tip is controlled by the Hermits. And
looks like Spirit starts off in a man-to-man.
Helfenstein trying to bull his way in. It's an offensive foul. He hooked his defender along the end line. So the first possession results in a turnover, and now Holy Spirit will have the ball for the first time. These teams did play one another during the season earlier this month. St. Augustine won the game 47-44.
Yeah, I was at that game, Brian. I saw it. It was very good. It was back and forth, and then towards the end of the game, the Prep really took over.
It's a long 3 by Rogers, and it's good. Well, he made a 35-footer on his last attempt in a game, so that one was rather easy for him. Spirit with an early lead. Here's Jacob Plen, freshman. They're very high on him. Oki Byron goes back to Moransky, and they'll reset the offense. Helfenstein off a ball screen. Plen leans in, he's fouled by a reaching Mason Forte, and the indication, a little bit of a soft foul, Joe, but the indication from the official was that he got hit in the head, and you're always going to call that.
Yep.
Helfenstein shoots a 3. He's not really known as a three-point shooter, and the rebound brought down by Rogers for Spirit. Here's Gonzalez. Spins the ball down along the baseline to Campbell. Prep's in kind of an extended 2-3 zone here.
Yep. It looks like they're in a little bit of a matchup.
Yeah.
The big kid Kyle underneath is directing traffic back there.
Forte, high post to Gormley. Good high-low. And Campbell converts. 5-0 start for Holy Spirit. And we have a turnover. Campbell stole it away from Rory Friel. Rogers goes off to Campbell. Forte now. Open for three. Off the iron, no good. Rebound, Helfenstein. And he wants to push for the Prep. Helfenstein down the lane. Layup is missed. Gonzalez the rebound. I think maybe Helfenstein there, Joe, was expecting a challenge. He may have been surprised that he was that open going to the rim.
Yeah, it looked like that. It looked like he was going to get fouled, but nobody was there to foul him.
Rogers holding the dribble. Forte now, high post pass. They do the high-low again. Gormley blocked from behind by Friel. And St. Augustine wants an early timeout here. Timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back on Cape Atlantic Live. All right, so the early timeout by St. Augustine Prep. It's a good start for Holy Spirit. They lead 5-0. And I got to think, Joe, that Coach Paul Rodeo wants to make an adjustment either with his defense overall or with that 2-3, because even though they got the block shot twice, they got layup attempts by entering the ball into the high post and then having a man cut along the baseline.
Yeah, it did. It looks like Holy Spirit's looking to hit that high post area and then just turn and react from there. I think he might want to push the ball a little bit as well.
So Moransky will walk it up for the Prep. Takes it right wing. Jaleo Wakefield is checked in for St. Augustine. He's number one on the left wing here. And he now has the basketball. Moransky now into the paint. Oki Byron. Wakefield now. Driving, kicking, Helfenstein, good look, offensive foul.
Wow.
And that was Forte, and Helfenstein's got to go to the bench. That's his second. So Jaden Hollingshead, senior forward, number 5, checks in. Now Helfenstein with 2 fouls already, and the game's only 3.5 minutes old. Prep still looking for their first points. Spirit with a 5-point lead in the ball.
And both fouls being offensive fouls.
Yes. Gonzalez dribbled off his foot, but it goes to Forte. Now it's Campbell. Rogers. Gonzalez for 3. No good. I think Wakefield may have gotten a hand on that as it went up, and the rebound comes down to Hollingshead. Wakefield, 17-footer. Good. That's the Prep's first points.
Low-scoring game so far. Both teams playing very good defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect this game to get up and down. This might be 1st to 40, Joe. You're used to those in the Olympic Conference.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Gonzalez rips through. He stepped on the sideline, so it's a turnover on the Spartans. The Prep, a slow start offensively. They did score on their last possession. They run a little backdoor play, and Friel's wide open for a layup.
That was nice. Defender took his eye off of his man and got beat backdoor. Nice pass, too.
Perfectly delivered. 5-5 now as the Prep has scored 5 straight after their slow start. Here's Forte. Moransky hounding him. On the baseline to Gormley, and he stepped on the end line. So 2 consecutive possessions for Holy Spirit, and as one of their players steps out of bounds. Exactly, I misspoke a little bit earlier. Obviously, it's a 5-4 game. There were 2 two-point baskets by St. Augustine, so the Holy Spirit still has the 1-point lead. Hollingshead down low, and he's fouled by Gonzalez.
It's a nice pump fake in there to draw that foul.
And these will be the first free throw attempts, and that's a mistake by Gonzalez, Joe, obviously, because Hollingshead, the offensive player, is about 4 inches shorter than Gonzalez. And if Gonzalez had just walled up and stuck his hands up, it would have been really difficult for Hollingshead to make that shot.
Yeah, I agree. The pump fake, he shouldn't have went for it. He had position in there and drew the foul.
First free throw, no good. Second one's also no good. Gormley the rebound. So Spirit still a 1-point lead with the ball. A little bit of pressure here now from the Prep, showing a 1-2-2 three-quarter court zone here. Now they fall back as Spirit breaks it. Campbell, floater in the lane. It's an air ball. Rebound saved in. Rogers for 3. That's no good. Wakefield the rebound for St. Augustine. Inside 2 minutes to go first quarter.
Looks like Spirit's still in there man-to-man.
Okie Byron to the lane. Floater, no good. Long rebound to Gormley. Rogers with the basketball for Holy Spirit. Still that zone by St. Augustine Prep. Campbell. Forte. Gormley. And now they'll reset it again with Rogers. Rogers still holding the dribble.
Looks like they're trying to penetrate, get something at that high post area, but nobody's there right now.
Now, at this stage, Joe, you're inside a minute. Possession arrows in Spirit's favor. Do they hold for 1? Obviously not.
Nope.
3 is short. Gonzalez did a good job of following his shot, but he stepped on the end line.
Yeah, I think if it would have got down to that 30-second mark, they probably would have held for 1, but he had an open shot there, just didn't hit it.
Joey Peacock, number 20, and Jacob Plen, 23. Joey Peacock for the first time. Jacob Plen returns for the Prep. And for Holy Spirit, Justice Settles, who's guarding Wakefield here out top, and Aiden Hartman into the game. Friel with a step. Blocked from behind, but a foul. And they're going to call that on Makai Campbell. And Rory Friel will go to the line with an opportunity to give St. Augustine its first lead. First one is good. As is the second. So the Prep has scored 6 straight. Now they're extending that zone pressure. Settles across the timeline, center of the floor to Hartman. Swings it over to Rogers. Baseline drive. Out to Gonzalez. And Spear might do well to hold for 1 here. Here's Gonzalez for 3. That's not a good shot. Peacock, a good rebound in traffic, and he is fouled.
Wow. Yeah, I would have thought that Spirit would have held for 1 there.
Yeah, especially, Joe, they have the possession arrow in their favor. They would get the ball to start the second period.
Yep. Gonzalez did have an open shot.
Unfortunately, God, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying he had an open shot there, so I guess he thought might as well take a good look.
And Spirit was fortunate that was only the 4th foul there. That could have, if it was the 5th, it would have had the Prep walking all the way down the floor to shoot free throws.
Yeah.
Moransky to Wakefield, final 5 seconds of the first quarter. Wakefield lost the dribble, but Hollinshead drives, dishes across, and Wakefield, or excuse me, Plen can't get a shot away before the end of the first quarter. Prep by 1, back after this on Cape Atlantic Live.
We'd like to take this time to acknowledge all of our sponsors this winter season. Thank you for your endless support of high school athletics and all the student athletes in South Jersey.
Okay, back in Millville, Brian Kniff with Joe Kessler. Matt Ulmer handling the video production for us behind the scenes. And St. Augustine finishes that first quarter, Joe, with the final 6 points. And they have a 6-5 lead here. Obviously not high scoring, but a good response to a shaky start by St. Augustine.
Yeah, I think when Coach Rodeo called the timeout, they were down 5-0. And maybe that sparked them a little bit. They went on a 6-0 run to end the quarter, but it is very low scoring right now. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
Still the matchup zone by St. Augustine.
Yeah, I think Spirit had a hard time the second part of the first quarter.
Rogers, no good. I don't know if that was partially blocked, but it was way short. Helfenstein back in the game with the 2 fouls for the Prep. And here's Okie Byron. Driving, off the glass, got it. Tough shot.
I was at the game when St. Augustine played the Holy Spirit earlier in the month, and he's tough. That was a tough move in there.
So Spirit has not scored in an awfully long time. They have 5 points in the first 2 minutes. They haven't scored since. Rogers holding against Moransky. He's got to pick his dribble up or get rid of it. And he did barely get his head and shoulders past the defender to prevent the 5-second closely guarded violation. Gonzalez over to Campbell. Hartman. Jump hook. Couldn't get the rolls. Good look. Friel the rebound for the Prep. He'll step into a deep 3.
Wow.
In and out. That was from a long way away. And the foul is on Helfenstein, and that's his 3rd. And Jaleo Wakefield has to check in for him.
That's a bad break right there. He went after the ball. Good hustle play, but I guess the ref thought he hit him underneath.
Yeah, the Spirit player ended up on the floor, thus the whistle. Rogers for Holy Spirit. Flips it over to Hartman. Hartman, bad pass. Moransky nearly stole it away. He couldn't keep it in bounds. Hartman a little loose with the ball there. Luke Moransky nearly pounced, but no harm for Spirit as they reset here with Rogers. Campbell to settles in the corner. Rogers tried to go backdoor to Gonzalez. Baseline shot, no good, off the front of the rim. Friel the rebound for St. Augustine. Hands it to Okie Byron. Now it's Moransky. Spirit still in the man-to-man. Gonzalez nearly a steal. Would have been if he used the proper hand. Wakefield to the basket, and he lays it in.
Nice move. Very nice move.
Gonzalez used the wrong hand in going for that steal. Thus, he just wasn't able to come up with it, and it leads to a basket by Wakefield. And the Prep has scored 10 straight points. Campbell stripped from behind by Moransky. Outlet pass to Moransky. He pulls up.
Thought about that three
yes,
right there.
Yes, he did. Friel down the lane. Good jump stop. Good finish.
Wow. 12-0 run.
Friel with 6, and Spirit's going to take a timeout here. The Prep now with a 7-point lead back after this on Cape Atlantic Live.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ulmer's Appliance Service. Ulmer's Appliance Service is a family-owned and operated business serving Cape May County since 1974. It doesn't matter the age of your appliance or if it's electric or gas, they repair them all. If it's broken, they'll fix it. For service, call 609-399-4398. Ulmer's Appliance Service, ready to aid your appliance needs.
12 straight for St. Augustine Prep. They lead Holy Spirit 12-5 here with 5:03 to go second quarter. And Joe Spirit right now is having trouble just even getting good looks at the basket.
They are. The matchup zone is really hurting them right now. In the beginning, they were able to get the ball into the high post area and have options from there, but they haven't done that since the midway through the first quarter.
They do get it down low here to Campbell. Up and under move. No good off the back of the rim. Plen the rebound for the Prep. He pushes. Stops at the foul line area and flips it back to Oki Byron. And now Moransky will start the offensive set.
I like Moransky. He's very, very heady.
Plen spinning against Gonzalez. Moransky again. Oki Byron to Wakefield. Into the paint. Kicks, it goes through Oki Byron's hands and out of bounds. Might have been a little too hot to handle from Wakefield.
Yeah.
In close quarters there. Holy Spirit is trying to become the lowest seeded team to make the final as a number 10. But they trail 12-5 here midway through the second quarter. Rogers into the post. Forte for 3. No good. Weak side rebound by Campbell. Gonzalez for 3. Got it. Much needed basket for Holy Spirit. Oki Byron a floater, no good. Got his own rebound and he's fouled.
Wow. Very athletic play by Oki Byron there.
And, you know, Joe Gonzalez was in good position there with his verticality, defending that play, but he made the mistake of bringing his arms forward, and thus the foul occurred.
Yeah, I think if he just stayed straight up with his arms, he would have maybe altered the shot and not picked up the foul.
Oki Byron makes the first. Prep is now 3 for 5 from the line as a team so far. Holy Spirit has yet to shoot a free throw. Mide Oki Byron knocks down 2, and he'll go to the bench in favor of Jaden Hollingshead. Six-point lead for the Prep. Here's Nicky Rogers for Holy Spirit. Gonzalez another 3. Got it. That's back-to-back threes for Jordan Gonzalez.
Got to keep an eye on him. He sure can shoot.
Wakefield backs away. Sticks his head down, gets into the top of the lane, kicks it out. Oh, bad pass. Wakefield vacated the area. And Gonzalez, no good but a foul.
Good defense right there. Push the ball, hit the open man.
Gonzalez a little frustrated with himself, Joe. He thinks he should be going to the line for a three-point opportunity here, but he'll have to earn 2 at the line.
Yeah.
And Hollingshead for the Prep was right as he was trying to throw a pass to Wakefield. Wakefield vacated the area and cut. And Hollingshead tried to hang on to the ball, but it slipped away, led to the break. And Gonzalez knocks down 2. He has scored Spirit's last 8 points, all 8 points of this period, and it's back to a 1-point game. Gonzalez goes to the bench. Gormley will come in with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Moransky off a ball screen, driving right. Kicks to Hollingshead. And Moransky will reset. Wakefield now, guarded by Mason Forte. Okie Byron. Hollingshead. And we have a foul called against Spirit. It's their second team foul. 2:40 to go. A foul goes against Hartman. That's his second.
It's been a pretty clean game so far.
Friel driving left. Offensive foul.
Yep.
That's a great take by Mason Forte. He saw it coming, stepped in there, took that contact in the chest, and that's an offensive foul.
Yeah, I think it was a good call, too.
And they're doing a little offense for defense substituting right now. Spirit is with Gonzalez, because I believe he has 2 fouls, Joe.
Okay.
They don't want him to pick up a third before halftime.
No.
So he comes back in for offense here.
That'd be a tough one for Spirit if he gets out of the game.
Campbell. Forte. Campbell again. Traveled.
Yep.
There's the jump stop and then the extra step. Gormley will return, most likely for Gonzalez. That is the case. 2:15 to go in the half. Here's Luke Moransky for St. Augustine. Holding the 1-point lead. Down low to Friel. Doubled, steps through it
Nice
beautifully, and finishes with the left hand.
Very nice move by Friel right there, left-handed.
Rory Friel with 8 to lead the prep. Gonzalez also has 8 for Holy Spirit. Campbell in the corner, lobs to Hartman, no good. Kept the rebound alive, but Okie Byron comes down with it for the prep.
I think it was a good no call right there. Defender stood straight up.
Moransky traveled. I think he wanted to deliver that pass earlier, Joe. The player wasn't open. He waited for his teammate to become open. He landed on the floor, thus the traveling violation.
Yeah, good idea, just bad execution right there.
So here comes Holy Spirit, trailing by 3. Campbell to Forte. High post to Campbell. Spins in the lane. Goes to Gonzalez. Floater is good. Jordan Gonzalez has 10 all in this quarter, and it's a 1-point game again. He has all of Spirit's points in the second quarter. Inside a minute to go before halftime. Okie Byron at the high post. Here's Friel. Driving left, kicks, Plen for 3. Bang!
Wow. It's a nice kick out there. Wide open 3. Wonder if Spirit will hold for one here.
34 seconds to go in the half. You would think they would. They didn't do that in the first quarter. Here's Campbell. 20 seconds now. Forte. Ooh, got away with a kind of a wild drive there. Campbell turns and scores. Here's Friel. 5 seconds to go. Moransky to the basket. Couldn't finish. Friel the rebound. The layup is good at the buzzer. That's a big offensive rebound and put back there to give St. Augustine Prep a 21-14 lead at the half. That's a really big basket there, Jeff.
That is a big basket. Good momentum to go into halftime. with a 4-point lead. Both teams taking their time offensively, a couple turnovers here or there, but neither team's really pushing the ball. But defensively, for both teams, I think they're doing a good job.
All right, with Joe Kessler, I'm Brian Kniff. St. Augustine Prep leads Holy Spirit 21-17 in the first of 2 Cape Atlantic League boys basketball semifinals, with the winners playing in the title game on Saturday at Egg Harbor Township High School. And we'll be back with more on Cape Atlantic Live. right, halftime here at the Cape Atlantic League first semifinal between St. Augustine Prep and Holy Spirit. The Hermits with a 21-17 lead over Spirit. You're scoring at halftime first for Holy Spirit. Jordan Gonzalez had 10, all in the second quarter. Makai Campbell with 4, Nikki Rogers with 3. For St. Augustine, a little more balance for them. Rory Friel with 10, Mide Oki Byron, Jaleo Wakefield each with 4, Jacob Plen with 3. And St. Augustine will have the ball to start the second half. We'll also be live. You'll have to pick up another link on our Cape Atlantic Live, either Facebook or Facebook page or YouTube channel. We'll have Wildwood Catholic and Atlantic City in the second semifinal at 7 o'clock. So we're set to go for the third quarter. Starting lineups back in for both teams. One thing to watch, Kyle Helfenstein for St. Augustine Prep picked up 3 fouls in the first half. He has the basketball now at the right elbow, spins it down low to Oki Byron. Helfenstein again. And now it's Moransky. Spirit still in the same man-to-man that they started the game in. They haven't switched defenses at all. There's Moransky. Good behind the back move. Got to the rim. No good long. And the rebound comes down to Rogers of Holy Spirit.
It's a nice Euro step. I think if he uses the backboard, that goes in.
Gonzalez down low to Campbell, into the post to Gormley. High off the glass and good. Good finish by the sophomore forward. His first basket. Oki Byron to Helfenstein, trying to bull his way in. Pass is tipped, but Oki Byron picks up the loose ball, and Moransky will reset. Looks over at Coach Paul Rodeo for some instructions, and now it's Helfenstein. Friel with it. Plen trying to turn the corner. Good pass down low. Helfenstein's reverse layup is good.
Nice move going under the basket. I think Gonzalez may have blocked that. He was in position.
Prep by 4, Spirit the ball. Gonzalez thought about a real deep 3 and goes to Rogers instead. High post pass to Campbell. Rogers, Forte. Steps in, baseline jumper, in and out. Rebound tipped off of Gonzalez, and then it hits the back of the backboard, so that is out of bounds, and the ball will go over to St. Augustine. They lead by 4, approaching the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. Brian Kniff with Joe Kessler, Matt Ulmer handling the video production here on Cape Atlantic Live. Friel, a deep 3.
Wow.
Got it with a hand in his face.
That was deep.
Can't fault the defense of Campbell. He was right there. And that's a 25-foot 3 for Rory Friel. He's got 13. Gonzalez trying to answer, no good. Helfenstein the rebound. The outlet pass, Jacob Plen got too far under the basket, and he's fouled though.
Wow.
That goes against Campbell, and Plen will get 2 shots.
Good move, St. Augustine. Outlet, trying to push the ball right there.
I thought Plen was too far under the basket, Joe, but he was very patient in his moves there, put himself in position to get a shot away and got fouled.
Yep.
Misses the first. Holy Spirit student section trying to distract him from behind the basket. Second one by Plen is good. He has 4 points. St. Augustine has its largest lead at 8. Gormley, little flex look for Spirit. Forte is bumped and fouled along the end line.
Wow.
And Spirit will inbound along their offensive baseline. Having trouble, and it's a 5-second violation.
Good defense by St. Augustine right there.
And Holy Spirit's players, Joe, it looked to me like they were running away from the ball trying to get open rather than coming to it.
Yep.
So Spirit needs a stop here. This is getting dangerously close to the Prep taking control here. Moransky for 3. That's not a good shot. Rebound will go off of the Prep. Helfenstein saved it, but...
Yeah, they can get that shot anytime. I think he should have moved the ball a little bit. May be able to get that open shot a couple passes later.
Rogers over to Gonzalez. High post to Campbell. Gonzalez again. Squares up. Bounces back to Forte. Swung to Rogers on the left side. Mason Forte again. Rogers guarded by Plen here. Out of this matchup zone by the Prep. Campbell at the high post area. Rogers fakes a 3. Steps in. Floater short. Rebound taken by Oki Byron. He does the smart thing. Dribbles out of pressure. And then settles the proceedings here. So the Prep can run some offense. Oki Byron on the right. Long first step, turns, traveled.
Yep.
Good help by Jordan Gonzalez there.
That was a good call.
Approaching the midway point of the third quarter. Prep by 8, Spirit the ball. Winner goes to the final Saturday at Egg Harbor Township. Fall-away jumpers, an air ball by Gonzalez. Saved in bounds by Gormley. Rogers the loose ball, but he couldn't finish the layup. And here's Oki Byron for the Prep. Cross court to Moransky. Plen the basketball. Friel swings to Oki Byron. Plen driving, had it stripped, kicks back to Oki Byron. Helfenstein, Moransky an open 3. Bang!
Yep. He gets an open look, he doesn't miss.
Largest lead of the game at 11 for St. Augustine Prep. A lot of good ball reversal on that set, Joe, by St. Augustine.
Yep, very little dribbling, good ball movement, wide open shot.
Campbell in the high post trying to spin. His floater is no good. Got his own rebound. Turns. That's also no good. Gonzalez has it now for Spirit. And he travels. Hartman will come in for Gormley for Holy Spirit. Jaleo Wakefield returns for St. Augustine. And it looks like we have a timeout being called, a full timeout. Prep by 11. We'll be back after this on Cape Atlantic Live.
We'd like to take this time to acknowledge all of our sponsors this winter season. Thank you for your endless support of high school athletics and all the student athletes in South Jersey.
Here at Millville High School, Brian Kniff with Joe Kessler. Matt Ulmer handling the live video production for us on Cape Atlantic Live. And St. Augustine has opened its largest lead of the game at 11. And they're going to have the basketball here with 2:48 to go in the third quarter.
Spirit picking up full court now.
It's a 9-2 start to the second half by St. Augustine. Yeah, and Spirit has definitely extended its defense here. Moransky, they're trying to trap out of this. Now it's Helfenstein has The prep is spreading the floor here.
Yeah.
Plen with it against Gonzalez. Friel. Wakefield along the baseline. Good decision by Jaleo Wakefield not to go up with that. Helfenstein. Now he drives, kicks. Wakefield in the corner. Back out to Moransky.
But they are extended. They play this right, they can get a wide open layup.
Yeah, you know, here's Wakefield. Lost the dribble. And we're going to have a 3-second violation on Jaleo Wakefield.
Wow. I think he had the layup if he went all the way.
Yeah, and assistant coach Tom Atanasi from St. Augustine Prep jumped up off the bench and told Jaleo Wakefield just that. You had a layup, just take it. Rogers with the basketball. Campbell in the high post, doubled. Dips in, took some contact, no good, got his own rebound. And we're gonna have the ball out of bounds off of St. Augustine. Mide Oki Byron returns. Kyle Helfenstein to the bench. Wouldn't be surprised if he sat out the rest of the period with those 3 fouls.
Yeah, they may be doing an offensive-defensive substitution with him.
Rogers the basketball. Forte. Campbell now in the high post. Gonzalez, with the lack of good look Spirit's gotten, Joe, that foul line jumper there, Campbell probably should have taken.
Yeah, they seem like they're doing a good job on Gonzalez on the perimeter.
3 ball by Rogers is no good. Campbell kept the rebound alive momentarily, but Friel comes down with it. And we'll see if St. Augustine spreads the floor again like they did on its last possession. It looks like that's exactly what they're going to do.
Coach Rodeo's yelling 1. I don't know if it's a play or 1 shot, but he's telling his team what to do.
40 seconds to go in the period. Wakefield driving right. Still holding the dribble. Back out to Oki Byron. Moransky now. Driving against Forte. Friel for 3. No good, but a foul.
Wow.
Campbell crashed into him, and Friel will go to the line for 3 shots.
Yeah, that's a costly foul right there.
Paul Rodeo will take the result, Joe. It looked like he flashed a look at Friel like, why are you taking that shot? But he'll go to the line for 3.
Yep.
First one's good. As is the second. Joey Peacock back in for St. Augustine. Plen goes to the bench. And Friel trying to convert on all 3, and he does.
He's got nice form on his shot.
Friel with 16. He's 5 for 5 from the line. Gonzalez with a 14-point lead for St. Augustine Prep. Peacock knocks it out of his hands. Gonzalez made a mistake there, Joe, by not triple threading.
Yep.
The defense was able to get right into him. Oh, bad pass. Peacock with the steal to the basket, and we have a foul. I think Gonzalez expected his teammate to go into the backcourt and get that. He lobbed it back there. And now Joey Peacock to the line.
Yeah, just miscommunication right there between the two, and could cost them 2 points at the end of the quarter.
First one's in and out for Peacock. Justice Settles checks back in for Holy Spirit. Number 22. Peacock's second is good. So he's on the score sheet. Prep by 15. Some pressure shown by the Hermits. Gonzalez trying to go around it. Well, a lot of contact there.
Yep.
No foul called, and now we get a foul called on Wakefield, finally.
I think the Prep's on a 13-0 run. And I think it was 21-19 at one time.
Well, the Holy Spirit has scored just 2 points in this period. They've been outscored 13-2. Settles the inbound. Finally gets it into Rogers. Run and jump here by the Prep. Rogers dribbles around it, fires a three. It's short as the buzzer sounds. So a real big third quarter by the Prep. They have a 15-point lead as we go to the fourth on Cape Atlantic Live.
You are watching high school basketball on Cape Atlantic Live, presented by Ulmer's Appliance Service. We'd like to take this time to acknowledge all of our sponsors this winter season. Thank you for your endless support of high school athletics and all the student athletes in South Jersey. In addition to our live broadcast, be sure to check out our podcast series, Cal One-on-One with Nick Costco. Once again, you're watching high school basketball on Cape Atlantic Live.
.point lead. 15-point lead, a 13-2 third quarter for St. Augustine Prep here in the first of two semifinals, and they lead 34-19 over Holy Spirit. And the game, Joe, has been, it's been a series of, at different points of the game, just long droughts without scoring by Holy Spirit.
Yep. It seems like both teams go on a little bit of a run. Spirit, not so much. But St. Augustine's definitely taken over in that third quarter.
All right, so here's Jordan Gonzalez for the Hermits. Good crossover, but he lost it. And it looked like he was about to get by Wakefield there. And Spirit now will pick up full court. Helfenstein has it. Spirit trying to trap from behind on that. Wakefield now. Moransky. Driving, gets to the rim, no good, blocked from behind, but tipped up and in by Rory Friel.
Yeah, there's Spirit still on that man-to-man, but they're extending it. I guess they have to now, but it's going to lead to open shots.
Friel with 18, excuse me, Joe. Here's Gonzalez. Doubled. And flings it out to Rogers. Rogers, good jump stop, kicks. Driving is Hartman. Left-handed hook is no good. And the rebound is knocked out of bounds by Holy Spirit.
That's taken. Spirit's getting into some tough luck right now. They're getting some open shots. They're just not falling.
Helfenstein. Okie Byron. This is the advantage that the Prep has as well, Joe, as Okie Byron drives, kicks. Here's a three, no good. Rebound tipped out of bounds by St. Augustine. And what I was about to say was St. Augustine has a big advantage when they go to spread the floor because their forwards can really handle the ball. They have five kids on the floor right now that can handle the basketball reasonably well.
Yep, and very quick guards too, so they can beat you off the dribble, one-on-one.
Settles, high post to Campbell, trying to bull his way in. Blocked from behind by Helfenstein, and then the rebound goes off of Campbell and out of bounds.
Yeah, looked like a good block right there.
Jacob Plen back in for St. Augustine Prep. Spear's going to have to do something other than just straight man-to-man here, down 17. And now they are running and jumping a bit. But now it's Friel on the baseline, back to Okie Byron. Okie Byron down the lane to the basket, stripped by Settles, and then the ball goes off of Okie Byron and out of bounds. Paul Rodeo wanted a foul there.
Yeah, it looked like a good clean strip.
Rogers. Gonzalez on the right. Gonzalez had 10 points in the second quarter. He hasn't scored since. Good backdoor cut by Settles, but the pass is tipped away by Okie Byron, and now he has the loose ball. Up to Moransky, drives, shut off. And we have a whistle as there's an injured player for Holy Spirit. This is Justice Settles. Unfortunately, he looks like he's grabbing at his knee, so we hope he's okay.
Yeah, he's down.
And while we have this injury, we will take a timeout here on Cape Atlantic Live.
We'd like to take this time to acknowledge all of our sponsors this winter season. Thank you for your endless support of high school athletics and all the student athletes in South Jersey.
I said that we're back on Cape Atlantic Live. They tend to Justice Settles, who was injured on that previous play, the Holy Spirit backup guard. And right now with 5:59 to go in the game, so we've played 10 minutes here, 10 minutes 1 second to be exact, here in the second half. Holy Spirit has 2 points in this second half.
Yeah, they've had some open shots, a couple inside shots too. They just didn't fall.
So again, this is the first of 2 semifinals. We'll have Wobbly Catholic and Atlantic City coming up at 7 o'clock. And again, if you're obviously you're going to on this stream, you'll have to go to a separate link on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page to watch that second semifinal.
That game should be a very good game as well.
Yeah, I think it's we talked off the air, Joe. I think it's a contrast in styles. I think it's one of those things where Atlantic City is going to want to try to up-tempo Wildwood Catholic a little bit and turn them over. If Wildwood Catholic can handle that pressure, I think the Crusaders may have an advantage inside. It'll be a fascinating dynamic to watch in that second game.
Yep. I've been in plenty of those games where the pace of the play dictates who's going to have the advantage or not.
We are here at Millville High School, and we have an injury timeout here as they tend to an injured Holy Spirit player near their bench area. And we've got a good crowd here. We're probably 2/3 full. Settles does get up, but he's not putting any pressure on his right leg. We hope he's okay, obviously, as he's helped off the floor. And Settles was obviously in the game, Joe, to give Spirit another athlete defensively. And Spirit now.
Yeah, they're going to have to take some chances now.
Yeah, trailing by 17. 5:59 to go. Here's Moransky. Plen. Friel now, who's got 18 points to lead all scorers. Kyle Helfenstein. Flips it over to Plen. Back to Helfenstein, down the lane. And they restart again. And even if St. Augustine isn't finishing, and we have a blocking foul here, possession will be before the shot. Even if they're not finishing, Joe, with this double-digit lead, they're taking 30, 40, 50 seconds off the clock on each possession and just making it harder for Spirit to mount a comeback here.
Yeah, Spirit's in a tough position right now because you have to extend, you have to try different defenses, trapping, whatever, but now
Here's a tip into the backcourt by Gonzalez. and he can't save it in. It'll go back to St. Augustine Prep.
Yeah, when you spread the floor like that, if they're taking chances, you move the ball quickly, you're going to get an open layup.
Brian Little, freshman guard, into the game, though. So they bring another guard in to try to put some more pressure on St. Augustine. That's a good ball fake by Friel to free up Helfenstein. Down the lane, kicks to Plen. Plen lobs it back out. The Prep will reset. Now we have a foul called against Little. It's the second team foul on on Holy Spirit. Prep will have it underneath. And what makes it difficult too, Joe, the new rule change that came into effect last year, taking out the 1-and-1. Plen, good jump stop in the post,
wow.
And he finishes.
It's a nice fake there. He went up the lane, looked like he was going away from the basket, and then cut right back and had a wide open layup.
Rogers the basketball, Hartman. Gonzalez, deep three, bang. Holy Spirit's first points of the fourth quarter, and just their second field goal of the second half. Helfenstein right down the lane, and the layup is good. He has 4 points. 18-point lead now for St. Augustine. Gonzalez, tough three. That's good. They call it a two. Gonzalez had a foot on the line. 15-point game. Actually, it should be 16. I think they put 3 up on the board, Joe.
Yeah, no, the referee will have to change that.
Helfenstein down the lane, kicks to Oki Byron. As we move inside, 4 minutes to go. Oki Byron down the lane, Plen, layup, got it, a foul. Jacob Plen, the freshman, with 8 points. And Myron Hendrick is over at the scores table. Just what you said, Joe, the officials are going to have to fix this.
Yeah, it looks like he just told them that. And we'll see.
And Plen makes the free throw to complete the three-point play. So it should be 43-24.
Okay.
Your Spirit with the basketball, Little over to Rogers, and he is fouled.
Yeah, it says 42-24, but it really should be 43.
Little to inbound. Lobs it out to Gonzalez. Into the corner to Campbell. Little. Aiden Hartman now for 3. That's short. Helfenstein to rebound. Outlets to Moransky, who just smartly walks it across the division line.
Yeah, he'll pull it out, make Holy Spirit extend. They're going to take chances, and if they move the ball right, they could get an open layup here.
Helfenstein takes a bump from Hartman.
They fixed the score.
They did finally fix the score.
Yep.
And as we know, Joe, the only thing that really needs to be correct is the book. And the book obviously was correct. They get it all settled, and we have a 43-24 advantage for St. Augustine Prep. And they have the basketball. Friel to Plen. Oki Byron now. Goes around a man. Lays it up and in. Mide Oki Byron, his second field goal, he's got 6.
You're right, it's tough with St. Augustine. They got everybody that can handle the ball, and you pull it out, make them pull it out. They're going to get open shots like that, and whether they take them or not, or just milk the clock.
Gonzalez missed the 3. Helfenstein rebounded. And now the Prep will inbound here, right in front of our broadcast location. And that sub, Joey Peacock, was late to the table, so they will not allow him to come in right there. He'll have to come in at the next stoppage. They get it right to Friel, kick to Oki Byron. And he goes back out to Moransky. Helfenstein. There's a three by Friel, and it's good. I don't know if the Prep wants that shot, but they'll take the result.
I guess he has the green light. Very good shooter, great form.
Hartman in the post, no good, got his own rebound. Campbell now. He had it blocked, got the ball back, and knocks down a foul line area jumper. Timeout, St. Augustine Prep with 2:06 to go, and they are in cruise control as they are ready to check into the final. And as storied as this program has been, Joe, St. Augustine Prep has not been in the Cape Atlantic League Championship game for 8 seasons now. Their last CAL title was in 2017, and they've won 11 overall. I believe they've won the most.
Wow.
But they haven't been in the title game since their last title was in 2017.
Huh. Interesting. I'm getting used to the Cape Atlantic League down here, just moving down this way. Being up a little bit north at Shawnee for 36 years, so I'm used to that Olympic Conference, Burlington County. So getting used to this basketball, it's fun to see down here.
So Peacock, Wakefield, and Hollingshead all check in for St. Augustine. So we're inside 2 minutes. That pass was tipped out of bounds by the Spartans. And now some deeper subs. Brian Little will check back in for Holy Spirit. Kevin Brewster, number 11. Andreas Guinness, number 12, into the game for Holy Spirit.
I see Brayson Thurber in for St. Augustine. He's a Medford kid.
Yes. He comes in for the first time. He's number 4. Jaden Kurtz, number 14 there, walking onto the floor for Holy Spirit, seeing his first action. Gonzalez will go out. He'll finish with 17 points. Here's Peacock. Had it stolen away. Little with it. Kicks out. Brewster, the sophomore, holding the ball in the wing.
It's good to see a lot of other players that might not play as much. They're in the game right now.
Forte is fouled with 1:32 to go. And he'll come out. As he's replaced by Kieran McNulty. Little with it. Good pass.
Nice pass.
Yeah, unfortunately, Andreas Guinness will not get that basket as he traveled.
Yeah, it's a shame. Very nice pass, good cut.
I think that's one that I don't think anybody in the gym would have minded if that whistle was silent there.
Yep, I agree with you there, Brian.
Wakefield over to Hollingshead. Phil Bernazzi is in for St. Augustine, number 0, along with Nick Campanaro, number 13. Wakefield misses a layup there. Here's Little for Holy Spirit. We have an illegal screen called against Andreas Guinness. With 54 seconds to go, 22-point lead for St. Augustine. And the story of this game, Joe, has to be that matchup zone that just befuddled Holy Spirit all night.
Yeah, he did. Spirit got off to a 5-0 lead to start the game, and from that point on, they weren't able to score. They tried to penetrate, had the ball inside a little bit, but for the most part, struggled against that zone.
Looks like the Prep's trying to get Bernazzi a shot here. He's a senior who doesn't play much. He holds the dribble, goes in the corner to Thurber. Now it's Hollinshead. We're inside 20 seconds to go. And it looks like Spirit has thrown in the towel here. And it will be a comprehensive 48-26 win for St. Augustine as they check into the CAL title game. We'll take a break. We'll attempt to come back with a post-game interview right after this on Cape Atlantic Live.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ulmer's Appliance Service. Ulmer's Appliance Service is a family-owned and operated business serving Cape May County since 1974. It doesn't matter the age of your appliance or if it's electric or gas, they repair them all. If it's broken, they'll fix it. For service, call 609-399-4398. Ulmer's Appliance Service, ready to aid your appliance needs.
I thought it was all right.
All right, we are back at Millville High School. St. Augustine Prep wins at 48-26. A tremendous victory for them. We're joined by Rory Friel, who finished with 21 points for St. Augustine Prep. First of all, congratulations on the win. And, you were down 5-0 to start the game. Your coach called a timeout. What was said during that time?
He said that we're going too fast. We got to slow down, find our shots, and we got to find their players on defense. And the rest of the game, we made them work for their points. And, we practiced for them for 3 days. And I think we executed our game plan perfectly.
What your matchup zone really seemed to prevent them from scoring for long stretches, and I know those things are tough to play. But late in the season here, you guys seem like you're communicating very well out of it. You made it really hard for Holy Spirit.
Yep. So against St. Joe, we played the matchup zone, and it was the best we ever played it. And I just think we were really hungry to beat them. We lost to them twice, and we came out. We wanted it more than them. And then I felt we did the same thing tonight. We knew they would have a lot of energy coming in after beating middle, and we decided to lock in, lock up, and we executed.
I think once you took the lead and you spread the floor on offense, made them come out, you were able to drive, get by them, a couple of bounce passes, easy layups, and get some easy points there.
Yeah, we knew that if we pulled them out, their size would have to come out with us too. And every time we got in the lane, we were either kicking out or finishing at the rim. They took a couple charges on us early, and we talked it through, and we decided now, we started learning playing as a team, cutting off of that and getting wide open layups at the rim.
Yeah, did a very good job with that.
Everybody was kind of looking at Holy Spirit as a little bit of a Cinderella as a 10 seed, but now here you are as a 6 seed in the final, and after the start you've had. You were injured. Mide was injured. You have to feel really good about where you are right now heading into this championship game.
Yeah, 100%. We had a lot of people talking down on us this year. Because we didn't have those same superstars we've had in the past. But we found our identity late in the season, and we carried that into the Cal, and now we're in the championship. So.
All right, well, best of luck in the championship. We'll see you on Saturday.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Rory Friel, who finished with a game-high 21 points for St. Augustine Prep as they move into the championship game with a 48-26 win over Holy Spirit. Jordan Gonzalez finished with 17 points for Holy Spirit. So for Joe Kessler and Matt Ulmer, and of course my late partner, Buddy Tarbot, and I'm Brian Kniff, thanks for joining us. We'll have the second semifinal coming up on our streaming platforms on Cape Atlantic Live. But for now, St. Augustine 48, Holy Spirit 26 in the Cape Atlantic League Boys first semifinal. Thanks for joining us on Cape Atlantic Live.